For Breakfast Morning Show is brought to you by Ground Up Remodeling. Tim will take care of your needs from the ground up. Truly one of the best in Lake Placid, and we wouldn't let anyone else work on our handyman or home improvement needs. Call Tim today.
Text message. Thank you, Jesus.
Drinking in the AM's a sin. Old Cracker's just hanging with his old friend. Beer for breakfast, what I said. Beer for breakfast, make it two. Pop that top, pop that top, pop that top again. Pop that top, pop that top, pop that top again. Again. That top. Again.
Preston's missing. We gotta find him. That hooker in the bathroom was dead when I found her.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Beer for Breakfast Morning Show with Lake Placid legend.
What I got now, I'm
Tim and me, the Obscure Ron, and I like to keep it that way.
Well, that's 50.
We're coming to you live and local from the Obscure Destinations Studios in Lake Placid, Florida.
Yeah,
Come and get it.
100 to 100%, which is
No, not that Lake Placid. Right. Stick around, have fun, laugh while you can, and remember to like and subscribe and tell your friends about us.
Beer for Breakfast Morning Show is brought to you by Ground Up Remodeling. Tim will take care of your needs from the ground up. Truly one of the best in Lake Placid, and we wouldn't let anyone else work on our handyman or home improvement needs. Call Tim today.
I didn't sip it, but I stuck my finger in it and tasted it, and it ain't ready for drinking yet. Oh, hey everybody! Jesus Christ, nobody. Yeah, we're here. We're just talking. I'm Ron. This is Tim. It's basically our Monday because we were off yesterday. Good morning. And here we go. A semi-load of dimes rolled over. I think in Tampa.
That's
a whole semi full of dimes.
That's kind of weird.
I don't know what they were doing with a semi-load of dimes, but they had city workers, cops, everything over there picking up these dimes. They had big old vacuum cleaners, like for the lake or something.
Oh, really?
Picking up dimes. Yeah, that's probably a couple $1 million worth of dimes in a semi truck.
Hell yeah.
At least. I mean, I don't,
Well, what's the load of dimes?
$10 in it.
Yeah.
It's 5 or 10.
So figure a semi-load of 4-inch long sleeves.
That's a lot. That's a lot. That's a shit ton of money right there. I can't imagine that. Yeah. But they said they cleaned it all up. But I bet you for the next 100 years you be right by their side.
Oh yeah. There's trying to be some of the crack on the road, or
they didn't get it. Oh really?
And they're small. They're smallest one we have, so they can disappear really easily.
They're the size of dimes.
They're the size of a dime.
Yeah, they are small. They are smaller than a penny.
Yep, I think that's the smallest physical coin that we've got.
Yeah, I think it probably is.
And they're skinny too. They're not thick like a nickel's thick. You can pick it up easily.
And they're silver on this Florida white sugar sand. That, and then it goes into some of the bahia grass and sits all on the side of the road.
That's the buried U.S. mint treasure.
They'll never find. People will go out there with their metal detectors for the next 30 years.
Oh yeah.
They probably put up signs. If you do, we'll put you in jail. That's how Florida does it now. They put you in jail for everything.
I like when the beer trucks tip over. Every redneck for miles comes around trying to scarf up a case of beer.
Hold out in mourning.
Yeah.
Saying prayers for the poor dead beer bottles that broke. That's what we used to call dead soldiers. Empty beer bottles.
Right.
Because we would say it would freak some people out. And they're like, "What are you doing?" And I'm saying, "There you go." I'd say we're throwing dead soldiers out in the yard, and they're like, "What? What?" I'm like, "Yeah, man." That was, when you were young, you didn't really care what your front yard looked like. You just do shit.
We used to throw them in my backyard up in New York, and then get the 22 out and shoot them up the hill.
Yeah.
Right on the edge of the pine lot, there would be 20 beer cans full of holes just underneath the pine trees. It's like, I ain't climbing under there to get a damn beer can full of holes. Can't trade them in for a nickel, because up in New York, they give you a deposit.
Yeah.
So every case of beer costs you $1.20.
I used to see down here every once in a while it would say 5 cents in Maine.
Yeah, Maine, New York, Michigan, or something, New Hampshire, one of them.
Well, here in Florida, we just get inmates to go clean up the roads.
Yeah, I haven't seen one along the road in a long time.
No, they don't. I'm telling you, man.
I think people have to do public service.
Yeah, they do it too.
I see like people like that, but all they have is a vest on. They're not in jumpsuits or anything.
The inmates love going out.
Oh God, yeah.
And
I'd pick up your garbage if I was stuck in jail.
They would say, y'all going out in the trucks today? Y'all going out in the trucks today? And we're like, no, it's raining. We don't care. We'll pick that shit up in the rain. Yeah, but we got to stand out there with
I got to guard your ass.
You got to stand out there with a shotgun guarding your ass. And I don't really think anybody wants to do that.
That's when they take the tower that the cops sit up in, the sheriff tower that's parked up here in Browntown.
Oh, is it?
That would be great to do that. Have an open one. This guy's got a roof, a little bit of a breeze. Sit up there with a sniper rifle.
I didn't even know we had a Browntown in this town.
Yeah, it's right up a little before it's right before Winn-Dixie on the same side.
Huh.
There's a little bar right there.
Oh, that's right.
And that whole side of the hill, which is almost off the corner of the lake here.
I know what you're talking about. Because it's over there up on, you have to take a side road to kind of get to it.
Yeah, it's got like a service road.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't know.
And the nights, they used to all hang out down there in front of that bar and sell their crap and do whatever they do, just hang out.
Yeah, let's not make it obvious.
Yeah. And there would be 25, 30 of them out there standing, leaning on cars, drinking, smoking, whatever. And the cops just go whooping right by. It's like, you want to put a stop on drugs, that's a good start.
If they arrest all the people selling drugs, then all their informants are going to go to jail.
Half of them.
And then if they arrest them, they got to go, okay, well, all that, crack I've been giving you to sell on the side to keep me out of jail, now what? So they'll tell on them. They'll tell on them quick.
Yeah. There's no.
If you'll snitch on your neighbor, you'll snitch on a cop.
Oh, certainly.
And I used to tell people, man, if you're a fugitive and you're stupid enough to tell somebody, because everybody on some level has a bounty. Even if you're just wanted for probation, it's like $500. You turn him in.
Shit, yeah.
I'd be like, hey, you ain't wanted by nobody, is you? Yeah, man. Oh, yeah, what's your name? Okay. Come over here. Hang out at the house for a little while, because I would turn your ass in for $500. I'd turn you in for $50. I ain't Some guy said there's a whole bunch of sex trafficking up around Sebring, human sex trafficking.
Oh, I've heard that too.
Up on Martin Luther King and something, because
that's a rough section of town, obviously.
Yeah, he said something about city goes, you might as well send all the illegals to Highland County, Florida. I said, whoa, Blair. I'm like, whoa.
We got enough issues. We don't need more.
He goes, they ever take care of that problem on Martin Luther King and whatever? I said, look, dude, if it's not from here to Winn-Dixie and Lake Placid, I don't know whatever the hell you're talking about.
Don't know where it is. Don't care.
And I went to the bank, and that same company that screwed my credit cards over, screwed her credit cards over.
Oh my gosh.
So yeah, but I was pissed because I'm like, whoa.
And it always has to be on a weekend when it's hard to get through.
Well, she didn't realize it until yesterday, and then she came back home, and I was pissed. Because she had already called the bank, and they said there's no hold on your account.
Then why don't anything work?
And then we went to the bank to put money in my account, and now I'm pissed because I'm like, whoa, because all of our main money goes to her account. And then we split it up and do what we do.
She pays the bill,
yeah.
You pay yours.
And that's the bank in Texas. Well, I don't access to that because I don't want access to that. That's not for me. That's for I have my own little money.
Yeah, you're not uncommon, but in my world, that was very uncommon for husbands and wives to have separate bills and separate accounts.
Yeah, we do because we
I
spend
never-
money on different things.
I never paid a bill in my life, hardly at all. Like a household bill, electric.
Yeah,
that
I would
shit,
have a problem now.
I don't know how to do it because I never had to.
If Tony left, like to go to Texas for a month and I had to pay something, I wouldn't know what the hell to do.
Yeah, it's like my wife. She says, "What are you going to do if something happens? How are you going to pay the bills?" I said, "I'll wait for the bill to come in the mail. I'll go to Amscot, give them cash, they'll pay it." And she goes, "We don't get paper bills." I'm like, "Well, how the hell do we pay them?" She says, "They come on the computer." And I says, "First of all, where's the computer? Second, how do you turn it on? And third, how do you pay a stupid bill?"
Yeah, everything is weird now. It's just totally different than how it used to be.
I think she has most of them set up like automatic now.
Yeah,
But you better make sure your money's there,
yeah, you better.
or you get bouncies.
And sometimes, yeah, and you have to write the check and it's still down.
Mm-hmm.
That's another thing that's weird. Good morning, honey. Coffee's fresh. Dude. Let's see here. So we went over the dimes.
Went over the bills.
Well, we weren't even going to go over that, but we went over the dimes. I'm hoping today we finalize the makings of the apple pie moonshine. So that'll be good.
For all of those who have not tasted his moonshine, hang on.
Yeah, it hurts, but it works.
You could strip the paint off your hood.
That's what. You remember Gallagher,
Mm-hmm.
a comedian? He said, "Now you imagine back when cavemen was around. Once they made the first pair of pants, they had to have a belt." He goes, and they strapped it over their shoulder and around their crotch. He said it hurt, but it worked. It hurt, but it worked. Gallagher was funny, man.
Well, another month is sliding by. Today's the last day of
Is
April.
There are only 30 days in April? 30 days has September, April, June. Yep.
It made me think about, April being my birthday month. And I got realizing that I am really gotten old and didn't hardly realize it. I figured out that I have more yesterdays to think about than I do tomorrows.
Yeah, that's
I'm closer to 70 than I am to
every time
50.
I think about something like that and it bugs me, I think about all the people I know that didn't even make it to 40.
Yeah.
And I mean, I have a friend, wasn't in the military, nothing. Healthy kid. I mean, healthy in his 20s. His sister lives here in Lake Placid. Grew up with them. And I just happened to be online one day, and I said, I wonder what Dwayne's up to. I'll type it in, and it had an obituary. And I went, what?
Oh,
So then I looked and see who went to the funeral, and I saw his sister's name, Christy. She's got a different last name now, but I knew it was her name because it's his sister, and I knew her. So I found her on Facebook, and she just happened to just bought a house somewhere here, probably here. We do not go along. I don't know. I like her. But some personal family shit happened, and nobody informed me, and it pissed me off, and I kind of let her know it because she probably didn't know it. But I think she's the manager of McDonald's, or she used to be. Good person. Good person. Always was a good-looking girl when we were growing up. But anyway, he just didn't wake up one morning.
I knew a guy in his 20s had a full-blown heart attack, almost killed him at 20 years old. He was healthy as a horse, man, strong young kid.
A microcarditis or whatever that shit's called. You don't have to get the CV shot to get myocarditis stuff. But anyway, I asked his mom, did they ever find out what killed him? And she said, no, they took him. She said, you don't have to bury him right now. Just take him and find out what he did. They had him in the University of Miami doing autopsies on him and everything. They blamed it on sleep apnea.
Okay.
And he was young, dude. I mean, they were always 10 years younger than me. You know, well, maybe 5 years younger than me.
It doesn't change as they move on.
No, I know. But I'm just trying to put
Yeah.
in line about how old they were. Because I would hang out with them. I went over to their house one night and slept. And I wanted to sleep on the porch. And I woke up, and you know what eye matter is?
Yeah.
My eyes were literally closed shut. I could not open my eyes. It was just
Blue shot.
something on that porch got into my eyes. So it had to be heavy pollen or something.
Yeah.
And I couldn't open my eyes. I was freaked the fuck out.
It's like, I'm blind.
I couldn't see. I called their mom out there, Kay. I said, I don't know what's going on. And she got a wash rag and washed it off. She's like, I never seen no shit like that before. I'm like, me neither. I remember that. But it's happened to me once since then, so I don't know what it was.
Oh, I was listening to a comedian yesterday, and he was commenting on just off the wall little things. He goes, "Do vegetarian women swallow?" Interesting thought. It's a live organism, right?
I wouldn't say we're red meat, but
Yesterday in 1961, The Wide World of Sports came on the air. That poor guy crashed. That same dude crashed coming down that mountain for 35 years.
He is. He's still alive.
Yeah,
he's still alive. I used to could tell you his name. I mean, off the top of my tongue, because we used to talk about him all the time. It was just like a running joke that we had.
Yeah.
Now I can't remember his name.
That guy in that accident that they played,
yeah,
he actually crashed real hard like that, and he didn't sustain any bad injuries. He got right up and walked away.
Not off of that, Rick.
Yeah, he did. He said so. I just watched it yesterday.
No
they
shit.
interviewed him.
I thought that he was in a body cast for a while.
No, he walked away. Minor injuries.
But I have a video of a dog, and I used that clip. I've got one dog. It's like a black lab, and he's running around this way, and it's on ice. And then right behind him comes basically a Jethro, sliding and slipping and riding. And I said, you know, behind it, I played the something of victory.
Yeah.
And then on the background goes the agony of defeat. And then it all just falls over. For some reason, YouTube made me take that one down. They said, that's not your video. I said, but I put the funny shit behind it.
Yeah. The video is yours. The words, you didn't, well, you might have copied the actual saying.
Yeah. Yeah, I did.
So that part you did.
But I love some of my most popular videos that I have on here is I'll have the Blazing Saddles guy in the background going, what in the wide world of sports is going on here? But we went over to Mary's house on her birthday. It was like her 54th or 64th, probably 64th birthday. And me and Toni went, and you know, it was a long 2 houses away. Right, I mean, literally right behind us. But
You had to walk all the way around the block to get there.
We drove. Come on, please, man. Anyway, so we get up there, and I walk up, and Toni's with me, and I say, "Where the white women at?" Them black dudes looked at me like they wanted to shoot me, and all the girls, I know all of her daughters, they're all like, "Y'all niggas calm down. It's just wrong. I'll leave wrong alone." But I was in Winn-Dixie one time, and she comes up to me, this girl with pretty black girl with these black tattoos on her face. And she's like, "Hey, Ron." I'm like, "Uh-oh." I'm like, "Hey." She's like, "What you doing?" I'm like, just getting some stuff to barbecue. What you gonna smoke today? Hey, who are you? Fool, I'm married, daughter. I'm like, "Oh, okay," because I'm not gonna say y'all look alike or nothing. I can't tell you apart because y'all got your hair changes every 2 days.
Oh yeah.
One day you got a long weave. The next day
it's an afro.
She's the one that said, "I need you to put that stripper pole up." I said, "I ain't touching that stripper pole."
Yeah, don't know where that's been.
I know where it's probably been, and I don't want to have an imagination because I know that crazy ass girl. Damn. She saw this car run over and kill this person on Owens on Little Street that was right next to our house. She comes right back. We see cops going everywhere. And I said, "What's going on, Mary?" She said, "My daughter just watched these 2 Mexicans hit this poor guy, killed him, and hurried up and changed seats in the car.
Here, hold my beer. I got to change seats.
We got to change seats. I said, is she going to tell the cops? She said, hey, my business. We ain't telling the cops shit. I said,
I actually changed drivers when I was getting pulled over one time. I was doing about 70 miles an hour when we switched. We're going blasting down this old road, and I see the lights come on, and he was a little ways back, and I had already been drinking all day. I just had picked up my buddy 5 minutes before that, so he had like 2 beers maybe.
yeah.
And I'm like, dude, you got to drive. He goes, well, we can't pull over. They'll see us. I said, who said anything about pulling over? So I just held the gas with my left foot. I hopped my ass up on the console, slid under him. He slid over me and took right on driving and pulled over.
My Uncle David never, I don't think, until later in life, owned a car. It was always a van.
Oh.
So if something happened, and he didn't have the big mirrors, he had little mirrors, so it's still legal. And he said anytime a car got behind him, he'd jump up while that van was going, and she'd slide in, just doom doom, because you can't see it. It was a windowless van.
Right?
He had all this band equipment and shit in there. He didn't have any. He had medical equipment in there too, I'm sure. If you know what I mean. But
Every set up like a cool custom van or nothing.
no,
Just
it was
cargo
set up. It was just a car. Well, it wasn't a nice one. I mean, it was just a van.
Yeah.
But he said that if ever I'm driving, and I know I ain't supposed to be driving, he said I just jump out of the seat. He goes, we practiced it so many times. It's like a fluid moment now. I'm like, yeah.
Seamless.
I can just see him.
That's what cruise is like. You just lock it on cruise. You don't have to worry about the pedals.
Yeah.
Then you just slide your ass back and
hope that it's
Switch.
aligned well.
Yeah. Oh, it's got a little pull to the left.
And runs right into the cop.
Like, aha, you're changing drivers.
Yeah. Yeah, I've always been, and I could see me trying some shit like that, not with Toni.
Not in that little car.
No, you couldn't do that with my big ass trying to get someone. No. Even when I was young and limber and could bend everything.
I know, I was thinking about that too. It's like, man, I used to be able to move around so easily. Now I can barely get up and walk.
I separated cartilage in my ribs playing with Jethro about 6 months ago when I was living here. Like about a month before I fell out here that day and hurt my ribs again.
Mm-hmm.
I had just been playing on the floor with Jethro, and when I stood up, I hear him. Pop, 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 pop. Sounds like I'm friggin' the zipper. And I'm like, God almighty, what?
I've been getting cramps in my ribs on my left side.
That happens to me sometimes.
I'm probably getting dehydrated.
Could be.
I've been doing things where I'll sweat profusely, like washing the car in the truck yesterday. I was literally dripping off my hair with sweat.
Well, get you a little vodka and porters and grapefruit. I mean, some Gatorade, and you'd be fine.
I ate a couple
just
of
kidding.
magnesium pills, and I should drink some water the next day or two.
Water's just hard to drink.
I know. If it tastes like beer, I'd drink a lot of it.
Yeah, water doesn't have the. But sometimes, like, I'll wake up in the middle of the night and I have to have a gallon. I'll just get so thirsty.
My wife drinks probably 2 gallons of water a day.
Oh, easily.
She's constantly got that big tumbler like this one, and it's full of ice water. And she's like, you need to fill that with ice water. I'm like, it is. It's called iced tea.
Well,
90% water, but the caffeine dehydrates you.
Yeah, but tea is considered a clear liquid.
Yeah.
Medically, they'll tell you. Tea is considered a clear liquid, whereas coffee isn't.
Yeah. Even though coffee's made out of 89% of it's just water.
I don't know what it is, but
It's the amount of caffeine that counteracts it.
the doctor used to tell me, if you're drinking iced tea, you'll be all right. And I'm like, good, because I'm putting bourbon in it. He's like, okay, well, that's kind of a problem.
Yeah, therein lies the trouble.
What kind of bourbon?
Cheap.
Yeah, not as cheap as I can get, but it's down there.
It's not bad.
That's the only reason. If it was $20 a bottle or $50 a bottle, I'll buy it. I like it's got to taste right.
Mhm.
If I want a little bit of sour mash taste, but not too heavy. Now, there's a bourbon called Ancient Age. Can't even buy it hardly anywhere anymore. ABC stopped carrying it. I think I can get it from Publix.
I bet the Hideaway has it.
This store stopped buying it. It's just called Ancient Age. It's pretty
Super
good.
Wines and Liquors is the name of that liquor store in the front half of the building.
Yeah, I saw Dallas yesterday. I'm like, you can't be running out of my shit.
So get on the ball, girl.
Yeah, she's awesome, man. She's awesome.
Yeah, she's a nice lady. She's always so nice to me.
She's probably like, this guy, how much can these two guys drink? So I told
She
Tony
sees
that.
me for a case of beer every day.
I told Tony, I said, I need liquor. And she goes, already? I said, hey, I'm drinking for two. Like, gosh, me and him share.
Well, that's like a case of beer. If you're sitting around with a guy and you're both drinking off one cooler,
They don't take it
you'll
but a
empty
minute.
that in 2 hours.
And you're
where
looking at
you
going,
might go
"What?"
6 hours if you drink it yourself.
Yeah. A case of beer would last me, well, a 4-pack of beer usually lasts me 2 days.
Okay.
A
It lasts
4-pack.
me about 2 hours,
Because they hit me so hard,
and they're also
I go to
big.
sleep. No, it's because I drink 2 of them. All I want to do is sleep and be left alone. But I watched some really good Street Outlaws, the No Prep last night.
Mhm.
I like the No Prep because that's not
I do too.
scripted. That's
Yeah.
just
That's
straight
real
on the
heads up
road track
racing.
shit. Yeah. I don't care about when they get farm truck and Asian and all that in there. I don't want it to be funny. I don't want it to be. I want it to.
They're there for the comedy value.
But yeah, and I can't believe that poor little Lizzie, Musley, whatever her Lizzie,
Yeah.
died 2 years ago now.
Yeah, you said cancer. got
Breast
her?
cancer. Yeah, I mean they hit her quick and gone.
Well, if you're gonna go, that's the way to do it fast.
I guess.
I mean, who wants to be laid up and going through chemo for 2 years and all that shit?
Yeah.
I got lucky when I had mine. They chopped it out. Everything was fine.
That was the bead. That was just there.
Oh, I heard a bzzz.
Yeah. So let's see. We didn't fish yesterday, so we might fish today.
Get her hooks found.
Yeah.
Where you thought? Next.
Oh no, I thought you said filed. No, I filed them now. No, I haven't found them shits yet.
Oh.
So I'm just hoping for the best. But cause she likes some little hooks.
Yeah, like half-inch,
Well,
tiny ones.
little bitty bait hooks. She likes to
yeah.
catch bait and find a cat and throw it to the cat. Let it torture the poor fish for a while.
The number one song on the top 40 or whatever in 1983 today was "Beat It" by Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
Yippee! That was stayed number one for, they said, 4 or 5 weeks. That whole album, Thriller.
Yeah.
That guy made a fortune on that.
He, Weird Al always asked people could he parody their songs.
Oh yeah, I think you have to.
And no, you don't. You don't have to.
Michael Jackson, sure, go ahead.
Yeah, it was weird. He said yes, and then
I remember that.
he wanted to do another one, and his producer said, "You don't want to do it. It's too quick. You just did one Michael Jackson. You don't want to do another one." He goes, "No, but I've got the perfect rewrite for this."
Yeah, right away it's hot.
And he took it to Michael Jackson, and Michael Jackson said, "I don't think so. Not for this song." It was a Man in the Mirror.
Oh yeah.
And Michael Jackson said, "That's more of a personal song. I don't think so."
Huh.
Turns out that Michael Jackson, he told him later, he goes, "It just wasn't going to work." He said, "It just was too soon." He goes, "That's what my producer said." Michael Jackson said, "If it wasn't for my producers, my career would have never taken off." You know what I mean? Yeah, so.
Yeah, you got to have good people behind you. The Louisiana Purchase was made today in 1803. Guess how much money we paid for that?
$37.50.
$15 million.
Oh, really?
In 1830.
That's why I really thought it was like $50.
Yeah. In today's money, that calculates out to $424 million.
For a bunch of weird Creole people and a bunch of white Canadians that can't speak English.
Indians. Chinese.
No, they're Canadians. The French Canadians, a lot of them moved straight to Louisiana for some
Oh,
reason.
yeah.
Yeah,
That is
it was a
heavy.
French colony
It
originally.
is a heavy French.
We bought it from French. Yeah, that's why they speak Creole. But then, because they speak so much Creole, the Haitians now go straight to Louisiana as soon as they can get there because they can speak the language, sort of.
That
and-
is a strange language.
And if you want to play around with some voodoo,
That's the place to go.
you go over there and you go down there and
Go piss off some old lady.
yeah, and in Clewiston. Well, Clewiston's full of Haitians. All right, first of all, it's full of Haitians.
I've never actually stopped there for any length
Oh,
of time.
If you've got stray cats and they don't stay in your yard,
You
They ain't
have
staying
stray
long.
cats.
And you'll hear it in the middle of a field at night, pow, 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 somebody shooting rabbits. They just love their rabbits. But I mean, but there was this one guy that was a scrap guy. He would come by and get anything scrap. And I had this refrigerator. It worked, but it would knock. You know, like bam.
Oh yeah,
I mean, like,
Chumbucker's got one.
and it worked perfect, but I got tired of it bamming. So I put it on the porch and I waited for him. And I knew that he came by like Tuesdays. And I put a sign that says "Free Works." And when I stopped him, I said, "It works, so don't throw it in there hard," you know. And he's like,
don't just wreck it.
he took it home and he put it to use. He used it.
Probably
Put
still
dead
using it
rabbits in
today.
it. Probably. But he picked up scrap. He was there all the time, man. But this woman, if you watch the murder shows, there's a on Discovery ID, the Sugar Queen, but it was the brown sugar. We have a brown sugar festival for the black people, and it's a regular sugar festival for everybody.
We have a
black and
white sugar festival and a brown sugar festival.
But well, if you want to go with no cops, you go to the sugar festival. If you want to go with a lot of cops, you go to the brown sugar festival. It's in Harlem, which is like on the outskirts of Lewiston. It's still Lewiston, but it's Harlem, Florida. But her daughter got killed, and when they asked the guy, "Why'd you kill her?" and he said, "She put roots on my family."
Oh, jeez.
And the cop goes, "What do you mean roots?"
With the whammy.
He said she put roots on my. And the Henry County cop, and this was on TV. He's like, "We don't know what the hell he's talking about," you know. And he meant that shit. She told him, "I put roots on your family," and I'm like, "Well, how do you even put him in prison for that?" You know,
It's some fictitious bullshit,
well, he don't know it's fictitious,
right?
so in his head, it's not
Well,
fake.
they think it's.
And in her head, it wasn't fictitious. If she tells you, "I put roots on you,"
She threatened you technically.
yeah. So yeah, because that would scare the living shit out of me if some Jamaican looked at me or some Asian looked at me and said, "Put a spell on you." I'd be like, "Oh no."
A guy that I used to work with a long time ago, his wife was, I think, Haitian, and she was into all that. She said that she was a good witch. Because there's good witches and bad witches. I'm one of the good ones. And he said he has this little tray on their back table on their patio. It's like a deep dish pizza pan, it looks like. And it's got sand and different gravels in it and all these little trinkets and statue-y things. And he goes, we were moving stuff and trying to build a door for a little private area, like you have a little shed area in there. Yeah. And he says, whatever you do, don't touch that. He says, that's her thing. And I was like, okay. And I says, we have to move this table. And he says, just a minute. He goes and gets her. She come out and she was explaining to me how it worked. Any place that they've lived with their family and children, she has a little bit of that soil or gravel or something from there. And it's a collection of all these different places. And it's like almost like the family tree built into this.
That's kind of neat, really, though.
It is interesting.
It's neat.
But she said that it's very sacred to her, and she appreciated me not touching it. Even touching it to move it across the table, she wouldn't have been happy.
You should have said, "Okay, I'm going to teach you what polyurethane is. We're going to pour polyurethane on this thing, and it's never going to move. You'll never have to worry about it again."
Then she'd be a bad witch.
Then you can dust that shit off. Yeah, I don't know.
Put the roots on me.
But the roots, that was the funniest thing. Is I'm watching this interview, and I'm like, "Gosh, man!" And he's like, "She put the roots on me," and the cop's like, "No, what? No, what? No."
Yeah, it's like, but you killed her.
And then they went to her.
Roots on me.
And it was so funny because I went to the comments on the stream because they also had it on the internet, and everyone's like, "What fucking language is that?" Because the girl's mama, she's like, and then she'd say, like, in perfect English, "Johnny Johnson," and then and everyone's like, "What the fuck language is that?"
like wrong country.
Yeah, no, just because that Creole is a totally weird, different language.
Yeah, that's like that guy in that one comedy show. He was a coach for a team, and he was like Louisiana guy.
Oh,
and you couldn't understand a word he said. And everybody's going, "Huh?" And then one guy understood him. He goes, and he said,
"Oh, water boy."
Yeah, water boy. That's what it was.
Yeah. because
He was the funniest part of that movie, I think.
yeah, and so was Kathy Bates. I don't like no beach ball. I don't like Kathy Bates was good enough. Adam Sandler's just funny. Well, it wasn't even Adam Sandler. Well, yeah,
Well,
Adam Sandler and the other guy that's really funny. That's a hardcore conservative. He was Deuce Bigelow, Rob Schneider.
oh yeah.
That's a big bitch. He starts rubbing this woman's foot and her leg comes off. He's like, what the hell?
I like when he had the Tourette's girl.
Oh, yeah.
He'd be sitting there in a restaurant. Yeah.
That was funny. That was a great movie.
So and what he did in the movie that I thought was kind of like the best layout I'd ever could have thought of. He would meet these different women, and they'd have these little different glitches. So he would find a way to entertain them. Like he took her to a baseball game,
Right.
the Tourette's chick, and she's up in the stands.
Screaming.
You bastard! You blah, blah, blah," and everybody's,
Everybody,
yeah! And then he had the freaking 500-pound lady that she had a food fetish.
Yeah.
So he laid her down and made
Fed
a
her.
big freaking pile of food down her belly, and he was feeding her and stuff, and that was her thrill.
That was a great movie, and it was all. And his buddy just said, "Don't hurt my fish."
Oh yeah.
And then he kills the fish, and he's like, "Oh God!" You remember he broke the fish tank?
Oh yeah, that was a big ass fish tank.
Yeah, it was. That was money, but that was. I thought that was a good movie. I bet I've seen it 2 or 3 times. It was so long ago, I don't remember that much about it.
I know that's been a while.
But it was such a good movie, and I think there was a second one.
I think you're right.
And if it's a comedy, the second one usually isn't even as good as the first one. So I probably.
Oh yeah.
Well, I'll be good for just a minute.
Sequels never seem to be as good as the first one.
No.
The first one was new and something different, and everybody loved it. And then they're trying to ride the coattails. I'll just ride this out to the end of the earth, like Rocky. You know, Rocky '97.
Man, they're still making Rambo.
Are they really?
Yeah.
Good Lord. They beat that one to death, too.
If you go and watch like USA Network or something, and it says Rambo First Blood,
Yeah.
you better look at the date because if it's you typically if it's on USA, it's the one they made 3 years ago, like 2023 or something. And I'm like, geez, then they had Rambo because it was First Blood, then it was Rambo, then it was Rambo 2. Well, they just kind of just started recycling the titles.
Right.
So they get you confused. So you go up there to watch it, and you're like,
Yeah, you're thinking a lot. That's the one that he had the bow and arrow, you know?
yeah.
And that was like number 3.
Well, the first one, Rambo First Blood, is when he's walking through the town,
Oh, and the cop.
and then he goes and
harassed
they
him.
call the colonel, and that's when he has his knife and he's building booby traps, Vietnam style. But that was
And that colonel's like, you have no idea who you're screwing
Yeah,
with.
you don't.
We got 40 cops. You're going to need
You're gonna-
more.
and call your buddies. It was a good. That was I enjoyed that movie. I enjoyed
Yeah,
First Blood and Rambo. I didn't
it
care
was
too
definitely
much
a good action movie.
for the ones after that. I didn't care much. I never liked anything Schwarzenegger was in that I can think of.
Yeah, they're kind of B movies to me.
I didn't really care
I
too
don't
much for
hate
any of
them,
the Terminators.
Yeah, those were a little. I don't care for sci-fi type stuff.
Me either. And I didn't get because I never watched Predator. As soon as I saw the previews for Predator, I'm like, I'm out.
I think I saw bits of it. I don't think I've ever watched the whole thing because it just doesn't keep my interest.
I think one of the sayings that I used to have was, "If it bleeds, we can kill it." And I think I got that from a commercial on Predator. I think is where that came from. But
Yeah.
if it bleeds, we can kill it.
Kind of true.
Yeah. Pretty much.
Let's see what our weather forecast today is. God dang, I hate when this shit pops up.
It must be frozen in Canada since our guy didn't show up.
Damn it to hell. How do I get rid of this stupid crap? Jeez. I hate that. When you go to something, some YouTube shit pops up in front of me. Okay, it's 62 and sunny here in lovely Lake Placid, Florida. 42 and partly sunny in Binghamton, New York. 45 in Seattle, Washington.
Huh. And
Always close together, aren't they? 42, 45, and we're 62.
And see-
I'll take here.
It was warmer last night, but it's always cooler in the morning than it is at night. Because I came out here last night with a T-shirt on,
Oh yeah, yesterday.
Loving life. And then I come out, then at about 5 o'clock this morning, I'm in there putting my long shirt on and my jacket and my hard shoes. And if there's anything you need to know about me, is I don't like to wear nothing but flip flops. I don't like to wear anything that's confining to my feet.
I'm just the opposite. I don't like wearing anything where you can see my feet. I like some kind of shoe.
And Toni could go.
She runs around barefoot here most of the time.
You ever? When people walk through the woods barefooted, even on TV, I feel it in my stomach. You know what I mean? You ever?
Yeah, I'm like, how could you walk there? Oh,
I feel it just like when I walk outside. If I have no shoes on, and I just walk down to the thing. I feel it in my stomach. There's a pit in my stomach that aches. I feel it because I know that I'm fixing to step on something. And if I see somebody else walking outside without shoes, it does the same thing to my stomach.
Yeah, when I go outside on the outside of my patio, like to sit in the lawn chair for a few minutes, have a smoke. When I walk out there in my socks, I always step on a little pebble out of those pavers, and it just sends a shock of pain right through your body. It's like, damn.
You know, my feet are tender.
Yeah, mine too.
And
they don't have feeling per se, but boy, when you bump what's left of the nerve, it'll put a lightning bolt right through your body.
When I was a kid, I probably didn't wear. The only time I had shoes on when I was a kid is if we either had to go to the Kmart or if I had to go to school.
And put you go to church on Sunday shoes on, boy.
Yeah, that was the only time that I ever wore shoes. And all summer, I probably didn't put on a pair of shoes from June till August. And I'm running around in the woods. I'm getting stickers and sand spurs and twigs and stepping on flint rocks. Flint is real sharp and it slices you open. My dad would say, when you grow up, you're just going to have leather bottom your feet. Well, they pushed it up somewhere.
The military made you wear them boots. Ruined them.
Only our military would be kind enough to give you a pair of boots that weighs 5 pounds with a pack that weighs 75 and tell you to go run up that hill.
Yeah, for 12 miles.
Fort Benning has Nike Hill. And
sponsored by the shoe company coming to you live.
Every time that anybody I know that's ever had to camp out on it, when you leave, it's a beautiful day. When you get to the top of that mountain,
it's not so pretty.
It's ice cold. They said they would wake up with ice on their butt prints and shit.
Oh, Jesus.
That was you, right? Okay.
Yeah, it was alarm for the security cams.
Oh.
That was screwing up yesterday. I couldn't get a live view off of it for nothing. So I reset my phone, and then like 2 minutes later, everything went back to working just fine. Sometimes you got to shut these damn phones off and let them recalculate.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do. You got to let them recalculate and do their deal and do their thing.
Yesterday afternoon, I get this text from Charlie, and he says, now Sunday was supposed to have gone and looked at this job. Well, it ended up being Tuesday before he got there, or Monday late. And I had already sent him the address, the phone number, and this text that I got yesterday on Tuesday evening after he'd already been there and we already said we'll get together and work out the prices. I get the text that says, you have to send me the address. I don't know how to get there, or I don't know their phone number. And I'm like, you already said you were there and I sent it to you twice. And then he sends back, I didn't send you a message. It took like 3 days for that message to get to me.
That's happened to me before too. So,
I've been an hour away. My wife will always try to text me while I'm driving, and I hate that. And she goes, why didn't you answer? And I'm like, answer what? There's nothing that you sent me. And as we're arguing about this, and she says, I sent you this, and blah, 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 blah. The phone goes off, and it was her text. Like 45 minutes after she sent it, I go, look, you heard it ring? Right there's your text. It just got to me, and I'm standing here bitching at you about it.
That's weird because a lot of times I'll walk in the house and I'll hear bing, and she'll say, I just emailed you. And it'll be my email going, bing. But I remember I was so amazed when email first came out that I could email somebody, and 2 minutes later they've already read it and digested what I said, and that was it. And I'm like, wow, that's crazy. So
it's almost as good as picking up the phone.
better because you don't have to. You can just shoot the email and leave. You pick up the phone and you're on that phone for.
I am
I hate telephone.
not thrilled with talking on the phone, and I more or less thrilled with text after text after text. If you want to have a conversation, call me. It'll take about a third of the time. We'll be done with it in 1-2 sentences instead of 14 emails.
I'm new to the text thing, so I use it.
Yeah. Like yesterday, my wife says, "Who's blowing up your phone?" I go, "Ron." She goes, "He's right next door." I'm like, "Yeah, all you got to do is talk loud and I'll answer." But it's like, oh my God. And then I get through those 5 or 6 back and forths between you and me.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just settling down from it because I'm out of happy pills for the last 2 weeks. And bing, there comes another one. I go, God damn it, I just talked to him. And I look and it's my wife when she goes off on the, when she finally gets online for the food delivery thing.
Yeah.
It sends me a text that Jodi wants to share that she's online with you. And I was like, oh, all right. Yeah. And then I hear her phone like 4 minutes later making this little ding noise. And I know in a matter of half a minute and seconds, 30, she's going to open the slider and say, I got to run. No, I always say, grab safe, bye. And then light up a cigarette. And then she comes back up to the patio. If it's a quick call, she'll come back and she go, you smoking out here? I go, no, Ron stopped over.
Oh, no. I get blamed for everything.
Well, it's an easy out for me.
I don't blame you.
And I always leave one of your cigar butts in the ashtray so I can say, look, he was just here. The thing that does make me feel guilty about that is she hangs her clothes on the little clothes wire on her back patio. Yeah. So her clothes are going to eventually get smells from the smoke, and that's not. But
she goes to bars too, so I mean, it's going to get there anyway.
Well, she doesn't go to bars that they smoke at.
Oh, she doesn't?
There's only 2 I know of around here that you can actually smoke in.
I didn't think that there were any in the world anymore, to be honest.
The Hideaway, you can smoke in there because there's no food. And the Eagles, which surprises me, because they do serve food. You can sit at the bar, smoke a pack of Marlboro Reds, drink a beer, and watch them make your sandwich in the kitchen. It's wide open. But they allowed smoking in there. I don't know how they get away with it.
Because it's private.
That, and it's a percentage of food to bar where, if it's more of a bar than it, they only serve, say, 5 sandwiches a day.
Yeah.
They fall under a different category, I guess. That's something to do with the liquor license.
It's all kind of weird to me. It's all kind of screwed.
It's kind of like YouTube. There is rules, but nobody knows them.
Yeah, yeah, really.
The only way you find out is you broke them.
Yeah, and then it gets then they get assy about it.
Mm-hmm. It's like, you should know the rules. Well, send me a list.
Yeah, and they change every time that they hire somebody new. The rules change.
Oh yeah, every 15 minutes there's a whole new
book of rules. I mean, you get emails all the time. We've updated our terms of service.
I believe I'll have a Rams Point peanut butter whiskey.
You got any more beer?
Yes, I do. We don't have Taste Test Thursdays. We'll have Taste Test Wednesday.
Yeah, because we can't.
Gotta keep our hours down.
Until I know exactly what's going on, because I'm not paying another $250.
That's what my wife said on Tuesday. She goes, "You're home at 8? No show or a short show?" And I says, "No show." I says, "We're doing every other day because we got to keep the time usage down until he gets us all straightened around and knows for a fact that he's paying overage."
Yeah, because that overage is what kills you.
Mm-hmm. It's 3 times the price of having a bigger program.
Yeah, it is. Well, it's more than that because the bigger program was only $25.
Yeah, and the overage for
was $200.
1 gig is a couple $100. That's how Chumbucket's wife. They're on the same phone plan, and he pays $20 a month, but it's not unlimited anything. It's very limited. And she used to only use her phone for a phone. If she wanted to call her friend, or she didn't text, she didn't look at games and crap and have the grocery store sending her specials.
Yeah.
Well, now she's got this girlfriend that loaded her phone full of activity, and she, in 3 days, went over their whole month.
Gee.
And if he would have paid that bill for, and she stopped using the phone that minute in 3 days of her month, it would have been a $200 service charge updated.
That's
Well,
crazy.
for instead of $20 a month, she could go $45 a month and have unlimited everything. And I says, well, if you're going to have to pay $300 and not have your phone for 28 days of the month, I says you'd be a fool not to spend the extra $25 and go unlimited.
That's what I was
So
saying.
that's what she did. And that erased the overage because you have so many days to respond.
It didn't erase my overage.
Oh, crap. So you must have a hefty bill.
I did. It was $250, Tony said.
Ooh-wee.
She said, that hurt. I said, I know it did, honey.
Like I need a set of tires on my truck on the back. And I'm like, all right, I can get the tires from my buddy that sells the used tires. And he always gets me ones that are really, really good for like $60, which isn't bad. But I got to pay $50 to get them mounted and balanced. So now I'm at $1.25
Yeah.
for 2 tires. And it's like, you know, that's a nice chunk out of your pocket.
There's
Unexpectedly.
I think those new people that you were talking about, the new used tire people here in town,
Mhm.
I think they posted on Facebook.
Yeah, they're right next to Winn-Dixie.
$50 I don't know. I can't think of anything that's next to the Dixie.
It's new.
And they were saying $50 a piece. They were all they said they were on luxury cars and they just changed them out. So they might be good. It might be good tires. But I know my guy is also the people with Carmelo or whatever.
Right.
They did me good. Got me a good deal on some used tires.
Oh yeah, they are even matching brands,
Yeah,
and I
sure.
thought you bought brand new Michelin's. I'm like, wow, you spent the long green on these. And you go, no, $160.
Yeah,
mounted.
that was
valve.
mounted and everything. Yeah.
I was like, wow, it's pretty good.
Just don't let him put his valve stem in it.
Yeah, that'll cost you $83.
That was an extra $15. I'm like, for what?
Yeah, that's highway robbery.
Yeah.
Oh, your dog's up.
He'll be all right.
He just seeing what's going on.
Probably. Yeah, he was sick yesterday.
Yes, or today was a slow birthday day. I'll give you a couple of names, see if you can guess her age. These are both off the Big Bang. One is Leonard. His name is Johnny, Galecky.
Never seen it.
Galecki.
Never heard of him.
You never watched The Big Bang Theory?
I don't watch any network TV.
Well, anyway, he played like a 20-year-old in the show, and it ran for a few years. It's still doing. They just ended it last year. So, what do you think his age is?
Well, if he's the same age as Mila Belock, who was on that show, then he's probably 54.
Pretty close, 50. And the little Oriental or Indian dude, Raj, I couldn't even say his name, and I wrote his first name, and I couldn't even get the last name in it. Kunal. That's his first name. Kunal.
Was he on Parks and Recreation? Hi, honey.
I don't know.
Little bitty guy with
Yeah, little short, dark skin.
52.
44.
If he was the same guy, he was always wanting money. Everything was money for him on the.
And his family was loaded, and he always had like a big trust fund to pull off, but he acted like he didn't have any. This one you'll know the name. Kirsten Dentz.
I know the name. No, I have to, what was she in? Does it say?
I don't recall.
Because I can't pull her face up.
I was having a hard time writing her last name, and I kept
Well, I
looking
thought
at
it
the
was
screen.
Dentz.
Right? It might be.
But I can't pull her name up. I mean,
I'll take a stab.
64.
43. Yesterday was a busy birthday day. You'll know most of these. Uma Thurman,
64.
55.
55.
Willie Nelson. I'll never smoke weed with Willie again.
I think I want to say he's in his 90s, but I
Yes.
can't be sure. Is he? So 93,
92. Very good. Seinfeld,
66.
71.
Damn.
I didn't know he was that old. Michelle Pfeiffer,
74.
67.
She's probably lying because he's a chick.
Could be. And an actor. Carney Wilson,
Oh,
singer from the Wilson Sisters.
Well, she was in her 20s when I was in my 20s, so she's got to be right around my age, 56.
57. Daniel Day-Lewis.
Okay, the gay guy. Played Abraham Lincoln.
You are correct.
Very good job of it, too. He retires and then he unretires.
Yep, that's the guy.
I'm going to say he's older than me. I'm going to say he's 62.
68.
Damn.
Pretty close on a lot of them. Let's see. That was yesterday. Today was a slow news day.
When Trump wants to be Pope?
Oh, yeah, I thought that was kind of humorous. Yeah, the one reporter yells out to him, "Hey, who do you think they're going to pull up for the new Pope?" And he goes, "Well, I hope it's me. That'd be a cool job. I want to be the Pope."
I'd like to be Pope.
Yeah.
Like Jesus Christ.
And then the news people at the reporting people, anchors or whatever, they go, technically, he is eligible, but they haven't used anyone but a cardinal in like 138 years.
Well, the Speaker of the House, you don't have to be a politician. You could be Tim. Could be the Speaker of the House.
No kidding.
But they don't ever
They don't advertise that.
They don't let Tim be the Speaker of the House because
No.
Tim makes too much sense.
Absolutely.
And they got it. Well, they couldn't because they've got a free bar up there. So
Oh my.
they literally have a bar in there.
That's
the-
it. I'm going into politics.
For the senators and for the yeah. That makes a lot of sense. But if you there's this one politician, I forgot his
Hey,
name.
if Schwarzenegger can be a politician, so can I. At least
Hey.
I was born here.
There's one, I can't remember his name. He's a Republican, and he's a big douchebag out of Texas. And they put him up one day, and they're like, because the Republicans are trying to get rid of him because he's drunk the whole time he's in there.
Oh, I know the one you're talking about.
And they showed him on TV, and he's like, "Well, I'm just saying right now that." Hiccup.
He sounded just like Biden.
Yeah, he was completely wasted, and I'm like, "That's a fucking job for me, boy."
You think Biden drinks? I'm not sure. if he
I don't think
does.
anymore. I think that he's.
I don't drink anymore. I don't drink any
I
less.
don't think he drinks at all. I think that he. I think his dementia is so bad that the medications they have him on would kill him.
Yeah.
Because they kept him pumped up on amphetamines constantly when he was in office. They had
The last 6 months of his presidency, all I could think about is this is a weekend from Bernie's live.
constantly. It really is. I mean, and that's what people were actually saying.
Oh yeah, they were laughing about it all the time.
I'd be just being honest with you. I'd watch where I walk.
Oh yeah, there was a landmine on the ground.
I'll take care of that this morning.
I don't think you will unless you got a hose, because that son of a bitch is
I got a pressure washer. I got it.
Oh yeah.
I got it. And I need to sweep. And I sweep with my pressure washer anyway.
Careful, ain't no flashback on there.
No,
You'll
no
be
shit. Oh yeah, that's
you'll
why I
be
put
coated.
I stay back.
I got some like farm working boots that when I go down by the canal and stuff, because I know I'm going to slide down the bank in the water,
Yeah.
and they go almost to my knees. They're like shit kicking boots. And man, I'll tell you what, I'm glad many a time I've had those on pressure washing, because there'll be crap flying all over you.
Now, if you want in, I know you can get in. I've seen you do it lately.
He can open that from full close.
Full close if he wants to, and if you don't think so,
Just wait and see.
just let a neighbor come, or let somebody, like Tom that he don't know, come over here and knock on that door. He'll be out that door like stink on shit, boy. Boom.
Oh my God, he's getting it. He's got it open by the inch now.
If he wants it, he'll open it. But is it, boy?
He wants to go to mama and get his chair.
Yeah, that's what he wants. So now I got him a stool,
Oh,
so he can climb up on the stool, and now it's like a big old step.
he's got his
Carpet.
brand going.
He's got a carpeted step so he can climb up there easier. You better get in there and get it, boy.
He's funny. His ears perk up like he's a puppy. You know?
Yeah.
Woo! That's his shot of being young. Jethro, you poor little bastard. Well, not little about you, you big horse. Oh, now he's going to come over and want me to pet him. That's up. So go away. You're a nice dog.
Yeah, he's giving me the dirty look because he's like, you know, you're supposed to get your fat ass up and go let me in that house.
Like, yeah, Daddy, come on. What's the matter with you?
He's a good dog, though.
He is.
But, you know, I got up 3 times to let him out last night. I'm like, come on. And then I thought, oh, yeah, he was constipated all day yesterday. I better let his ass out. He's probably unconstipated now.
Yeah.
And I don't,
you know, you gave him some of that shine. Set him right loose. Here, Jethro, try this. And the dog goes, boom.
Yeah.
Yep, it's good.
Yeah,
he dropped that hand right down your bed.
I do that a lot.
Blow it off.
I do that a lot.
Thump on the ground with a keypad.
Yeah, then I make sure it works still.
Yeah, I don't think they're impact resistant.
No, oh man, this thing's been dropped. It's been
How many
spilled.
keypads have you gone through?
In my life?
Yeah, 20.
Probably.
Ron likes to play on his computer.
Well, not only that, I spill shit on it all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And
After drink 7, no one knows if the keypad will survive.
but this one's been, and they've all been Logitech.
Really?
Yeah, all my small cameras have been Logitech. Microphones, not that one.
That was a nice one.
That was an expensive one.
Hey, we're worth it.
No.
Ask our viewers.
Yeah, all of them. Our guy that promised me he was going to be here this morning ain't even here
The
yet.
Canadian correspondent.
Yeah, he said I'll be there. He goes, I'm setting my alarm for
He probably said it
5:44 my
2
time. So that's 6:44 our time. Because he's an hour ahead of us.
Mm-hmm.
Or behind us. I don't know what the fuck he is. He's in Canada.
Behind. Yeah. He's more to the middle of the
Yeah.
country.
Yeah, I don't know. See, to me, Canada, everything is Ontario. I don't know.
Yeah, they got their own time zone. They don't.
Well, they invented time zones. No,
Oh,
really. Really, in real life, he most of the time, he's just proud of Canada, you know?
Oh, well. Yeah.
So
we're proud
if-
of being American.
If they, like, they invent pot pies and time zones.
Yeah.
We invent cars and machinery and bombs. And
We're good at atom bombs.
well,
Just
this
as
guy,
Hiroshima.
one of these guys came back and yelled at me about my Canada flag. And he says something.
I wonder where he's from.
He said something about y'all just want to steal our land. And I said, hey, buddy.
You can keep the land.
I said, hey, buddy.
We just want the minerals.
I said, first of all, we don't want Canada. Second of all, if we did, we would just stop paying you. Your people would starve.
And Trump actually said that as a joke.
Then
He was
people started taking
joking,
it
and
serious.
then everybody, the whole damn world's going, oh my God, they're going to take Canada and make it the 51st state.
And so now Trump's like, it's not such a bad idea after doing some research.
Now that you assholes have made it a big deal, let's do
And
it.
I guess your Tesla's safe now since Elon's out of the White House. He's not in D.C. anymore.
Yeah, he only had like 120 days or
Yeah,
something.
he's gone. So he still had a few more days, but he kind of just filtered his way out.
Yeah, I noticed he was fading off the news in the last couple of weeks. I
Well-
think the bad press was enough to make me want to not do it.
Well, first of all,
I mean, he lost millions and millions in Tesla stock,
instant, yeah.
and they were
constantly.
freaking harassing his dealerships. and
Everything, yeah. And
That's like terrorism,
it is
basically.
terrorism.
That's what
but
they're calling it.
but the
They had a special task force looking into that.
well, if you were bombing,
If that was me and I owned $20 billion worth of dealerships and they were harassing me, you know damn well the president and the government wouldn't be worried a bit.
I don't think so. I don't believe so. I believe that if they were hitting Fords or Chevys or anything like that, they would do the same thing. I think they would task force it together because you can't have Ocala cops and Clewiston cops and Georgia cops and Nebraska cops working on the same,
Right.
because every case is different. So they have to put a big
put them under an
overseer.
umbrella
Yeah.
so you can share
So they just throw
information.
the
and
FBI up there. They get a
fix the
task force.
problem.
Yeah. That's the
Yeah, don't react, proact.
Yeah, what you do is you sit up there with a machine gun, and every time somebody comes up with a Molotov cocktail, you shoot it out of their hand, and then you shoot them in the head.
I'd go the other way around. Let them burn with their own damn shit.
No, I want them to burn a little bit.
Yeah, but if you shoot them, like in the chest, they'll take a couple minutes, and the bomb that they're holding in their hand gets them too.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
2 for 1 special.
My thinking was they would shoot the bomb, it would drop it, the bottle would break, they would catch on fire.
Catch them on fire. That'd
And then
work
you
too.
wait a few seconds to let them understand what fire does, and then you shoot.
Yeah. How do you like me now? Huh.
I had this guy we called him Mr. Charlie. His name was Charlie Harris, and he was almost full-blooded Cherokee Indian. And he would say he was old. I mean, he was in his 80s when I was this big. He must have lived 20 years after that. He was just the oldest man I'd ever seen in my life.
He was alive when they were still scalping.
Yeah, but he said
I scalped you people.
he said my daddy used to talk about skinning people and put them in fire ant mounds. He said they'd live for 2 or 3 hours just
Oh,
skinning.
that's got to be a rough way to go.
God, you know.
Because they literally devour you.
Oh yeah. Oh no.
Swarms of them.
Hey man, a lady.
Stepping a red ant pile out here. When one hits, they sound the trumpet. And
You know what?
30 more do it.
They're on your arm and they're on your leg already. But as soon as you notice they're on your leg, your skin tightens up, and that's when they start hitting you. The minute that I watched the whole
It's
episode,
like a pheromone thing almost.
as soon as they know that you know they're there, they get you. They usually don't bite you if it's like on you. He won't
Yeah.
bite you until you notice he's there.
Then you panic.
Then you panic, and he goes, "Uh-oh," and he notices a change in your skin, and he gets you. But you don't pop those little pustules because that's where the poison's at.
Right. The best thing to do is take a piece of paper towel with some Clorox, wipe it on. It won't swell up and get infected, and it won't itch.
Huh.
My wife showed me that, and I didn't believe her. So one day I stepped in an ant pile, and my leg got bit up like 20 different places. She walks over, takes the Clorox bottle, dumps it on a paper towel, wipes my leg, and she goes, "Now leave it alone. In about a minute, it won't even bother you." I'm like, "Yeah, right." Sure enough.
If you get bit by a mosquito, push it. Just push it.
I'll put pressure on it like
Yeah.
a cut would be.
Push it, and it almost immediately stops itching and everything.
Well, that's good to know.
Yeah, I keep my man as soon as I see the first mosquito, I smell like off for the rest of the season. And I don't buy off. I don't buy that bullshit. I buy this stuff called something.
Deep.
Yeah, this stuff is like
99.9% straight heat.
It's like DDT.
It'll melt your skin.
It's like we got as close to legalized DDT as we could get, and that's what you.
I knew a guy that actually had some Agent Orange. He had swiped it out of the military when he was in, and there was something I wanted to kill off, and he goes, "I'll hook you up." He says, "Bring me a pump sprayer." I did. Man, I'll tell you what, shit would die in.
That's how you get that cancer in your stomach.
Probably. Oh yeah, you weren't supposed to drink it. I forgot to mention that.
No, before you were supposed to be around.
Yeah, that's pretty toxic.
The
And guys were over there in freaking the jungles, and they're coming over with choppers, spraying whole platoons.
yeah,
And these guys are like taking their weekly shower in that crap.
that's what they were doing with the DDT.
Yeah, there's nothing like a smell of Agent Orange in the morning.
Agent Orange was in DDT. Agent Orange was. That was when we were still legally allowed to use bioweapons. Now we just don't use bioweapons legally.
Yeah, that was like nuking the country.
You know, napalm is that shit too.
Oh God, yeah.
But it's fun.
When they used to drop that crap, it would wipe out all the undergrowth in a jungle like no time flat, didn't it?
Yes, and
Yeah, that squirrel sitting on the bird feeder looking at you going, "What the hell you doing, boy?"
it's supposed to be on this side.
Yeah, get me some feed out of here.
Yeah, that is probably what he's saying because I ain't fed him yet.
Oh, there's plenty in the hopper.
No, there's nothing in there.
I think they've made a hole there. Tap it. Tap the side.
No, there's nothing there.
Oh, you're right.
There's a piece of wood behind it that I had to screw it into.
Oh,
Marvin broke that one too, but I was able to salvage it.
Well, if he helps you bring your shit over here, they really trash your stuff.
Yeah, they did.
Like, it's a shame that little outdoor refrigerator.
Yeah, it was great.
That was a good little fridge you said. And
Yeah, everything, man. Because it's got to be the freezer from here to here.
Yeah,
And
they even stirred up your barbecue grill. How do you
I
mess
gotta
up
go
a gas grill?
I'm going to get some gas for that today.
Up at Rodney's,
And,
$15, and he doesn't even look at the dates.
Yeah. Oh, he doesn't? They did me once.
Well, that was when Rodney had it.
Yeah.
He was real strict about that because he's got that huge tank out front. He goes, if we ever fill a tank and it blows, he says, we'll take out a mile with this amount of propane.
Well, I didn't know he was Rodney, but it was an old man with a big white beard. Now I figured out that was Rodney.
Yeah.
But I'm
He
like,
looks like Santa.
are you serious? He's like, yeah, I'm not filling that shit up.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, you got to go up to see.
And that's exactly how he
That's
would
exactly
say
what
it,
he said.
He goes, go up and have recertified. I used to just say, where do you put the bed tanks? And he goes, just leave it over there. I'll get somebody. And he goes, you want a good one? And I says, yeah. How much? He goes, he likes me.
Yeah.
He says, I got one over here. He said, don't worry about it. But he was charging me $25 to fill a little gas grill tank, which I thought was the going rate. Well, now these new people from Miami bought the place. They're charging $20 for a trade, and you can trade a bad one for one that's already full and okay. Or you can fill yours for $15.
Yeah,
so he was whacking me for $10.
Well, I remember if you ever wanted gas, you even without a trade-in, you could go and get it, pick the whole thing up for $19 and leave.
Yeah, well, that's what they're charging now, $19.95 or something, and you do an exchange.
Yeah.
And now, like, if you do that at Winn-Dixie, it's like almost $35.
That's insane, man.
And if you do it without one and you just want to purchase it, it's like $45 or some crap. Like, I didn't want to buy a new grill, I just want to fill the damn tank.
Yeah, it's insanity, man. Well, since Robin's not coming and we've been here an hour and a half, I think we should end this monkey.
Yeah, our viewing level is not very high.
No, it's not. I'm going to have to find out why that is.
All right, well, people, thanks for listening. Maybe it's because they expected us yesterday and we didn't tell them we weren't
coming.
The week before we did, but we didn't remember on Monday.
We are
so we're off tomorrow.
We're off tomorrow. We're until I can get confirmation on how much time I can spend doing this. Me and Tim can't afford to just talk. We can talk to ourselves without being online, and it don't cost us shit.
So at this point, folks,
we'll
Monday,
see you Friday.
Wednesday, Friday. Thanks
we'll
for listening.
And then again, you never know if Tim pops over here and I'm feeling gutsy, we'll turn her on then. So. All right, take it easy. We love you. We mean it. Bye, and thanks for hanging out, even if you didn't talk.
Beer for Breakfast Morning Show is brought to you by Ground Up Remodeling. Tim will take care of your needs from the ground up. Truly one of the best in Lake Placid, and we wouldn't let anyone else work on our handyman or home improvement needs. Call Tim today.